Now the sun is just starting to climb up over the treetops, and it's gonna be a beautiful day, that's plain to see.
Welcome to Bill Dance Outdoors, America's most popular and longest running TV fishing show.
Now I'm gone fishing with Bill Dance today.
Hello everybody. Our trip starts out when bass are in a transitional period, starting to move from a long winter's nap into an easy spring period. And the area they've selected to use are those they've used for years, shallow water areas close to deeper water. Now today, that's what we're going to be discussing, the importance of deeper water close by. And what we're going to be using is the dynamite bait. Look at here. You're looking at a lure that's mighty hard for them to let go by. Let me ask you, have you ever wondered why certain areas or objects seem to hold more fish than others year after year? What makes one pier or boat dock better than another? What makes one point better than another? What makes one small section of a tree line, an isolated stump, a weed bed, or whatever, better than all the rest? One thing, deeper water close by. You know, we talk about that all the time, but it's so doggone important. Regardless of what it is, structure or cover, more times than not, the most productive is always going to be associated, not always, but more times than not, it's going to be associated with deeper water. Even when bass are extremely shallow, they'll normally select areas close to deeper water. Now, this doesn't have to be a major difference in depth either. 3 feet isn't deep, but it's deeper than a foot. About the only time they'll deviate from this is during the spawning period, but you can bet deeper water won't be far away. Even when bass are deep, they'll select and use those places close to even deeper water when available. Why? It's a built-in instinct, an escape route into deeper water. Oh boy. Hey, come here, buddy. Boy, I'll tell you what, when they hit this thing, there ain't no doubt. It's pow when they hit it. Okay. All right. Once you locate the best pattern, what you need to do now is establish a depth. For instance, let's say you've located that ideal boat dock, but how deep are the bass that are using it? Are they shallow, deep, suspended, in close, or out a short distance from it? Or let's say you've located that perfect point. Again, how deep should you fish? You see what I mean? Just because you found the ideal object or structure near deeper water, you've still got to fish it at the proper depth to be successful. Better fish. Felt like it. Yes, yes, yes. Laser eye. You looking at it too, ain't you? Huh? Healthy little fish. Toodaloo. Finding the right depth is perhaps the single most important factor in bass fishing. If you're not fishing the correct depth, well, you're really wasting your time. Sure, you may catch a fish here and there, but you can bet the majority of fish in the area you're fishing will select and use a preferred depth.
Dance Outdoors. Sponsored by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Rebel, catch fish anywhere. And by Mercury Marine, go boldly. Today's Conditions Log is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development. Come experience the kind of beauty that can only be made in Tennessee. Go online today for your free Tennessee vacation guide.
There he is. Oh, yeah. Nice fish. Okay, buddy. All right, come up here. Say hi for me. Ran all the way around on that side of the boat. You got it in the worst spot, old boy. They like that thing. I'm telling you. That's a pretty one. Toodaloo. Look at that. Doesn't that thing look real? I'm telling you. It looks as real as anything you ever looked at. Naturally, the better you know the lake, the easier it's going to be to determine the correct depth on a given day. There really isn't an easy way to find the right depth, but there are a few tips that might shorten the time. One would be simply trial and error fishing. Begin trying different depth levels until you catch at least a couple of fish. Then concentrate your time fishing that depth in that area. If you change areas to a different part of the lake, you may have to repeat the same procedure. Oh, Nelly. Oh, Nelly. Oh, he is a good one. Come on back here, baby. Woo. Just slide up here. He wanted it, didn't he? You're talking about a pretty one. Look at that. Big old gut on that fish. Oh, boy, that's nice. Woo. Okay, buddy. You like to stay on that boat, I'm gonna let you get back under it. Another key way to establish depth is perhaps the best of all, and that's relying on this little fellow right here. This unit will not only show you the depth, it'll show you fish and at which depth they're using, and even the cover they're positioned in. Here's a big old fish. Got the whole thing. He did. You're talking about a pretty one. Look at that. Hello. A lot of big submerged stumps along these drop-offs that extend out, and they're out to about 4 to 5 feet, and they sit right along the edge of these ledges. These fish, there's like that one right there. Of course, that one's shallow, but some of them are big like that one right there.
Today's show is brought to you by Quantum Rods and Reels. Quantum, performance tuned. Pure Marine Odor Eliminator eliminates foul fish odors from gear, compartments, and empty live wells. And Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Today's equipment log is brought to you by Gamakatsu, because the fish of a lifetime only comes once in a lifetime. Today's show is sponsored by Monster Marine Lithium. Lighter, stronger, longer. Bill Dance exclusive rods by Quantum. We have an action for you. And by Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder.
Here's a bait you certainly better keep your eye on, because bass are definitely giving it a hard look, often followed by a quick rod bending strike. It's a 5-inch XPS laser eye shad by Bass Pro Shops. The lifelike swimmer bait comes pre-rigged with sharp hooks, and it's available in 6 colors, as well as a 3 and 4-inch size. But today, we're fishing the 5-inch model. Maybe it's true, bigger is not always better, but then sometimes it is. The main advantage of having a bigger bait is the larger target it presents to a bass. A bigger bait basically says bigger opportunity. For example, what do you have a better chance of striking as it passes by you? A marble or a beach ball? Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but you get my point. It's sometimes better to provide a bigger target. A chance for a full meal and one gulp is hard to pass up, believe me. Larger baits also draw more attention by moving more water and create more fish-attracting vibration. The 5-inch laser shad is double jointed, providing a greater shimmering action, and a holograph finish adds to the overall appeal. Soft, it also feels more natural to a bass, and they're more likely to hold on to it when they grab it. Be sure to look for the biggest version of the Laser Eye Shad on Bass Pro Shops website, catalog, or at a Bass Pro Shop store near you. Most of the fish we're catching are in a depth of about 3 to 4 feet, and they all have one thing in common. They're all relating to one key element, and that's deeper water close by. As you can see from a few of these illustrations, they show the type of locations where we caught several of our bigger fish, along secondary banks in the mouth of coves. And if cover's present, it'll make it that much better. Secondary points with a fast break. Look how tight the contour lines run in along the left portion of the point compared to the right side. The tighter the interval lines, the quicker the drop. Also along the dam, where we located one key irregular feature. It was about 50 feet long and protruded out only 20 feet, but enough. It's always worth time and effort to try and find these little hideaways. I'll tell you what, they'll really pay off for you. Whoa. Where are you going? Ooh. They all want to get on the boat and have to get them over that trolling motor. Got him out of that trolling motor. Woo! He was in that trolling motor. Yes. Look at that. Whew. Nice. Show you what some of these banks look like that we're catching these fish on. They're real shallow banks. They're running like 3 feet, 2.5. And then right out in front of them, they'll run real shallow and then they just drop off. See that ledge right out? It'll just drop. It'll go down to 7. Those shallow banks like 2 to where they drop to 6, and they've got an abrupt drop. See where it just went right off to 16? Just went straight on down. Any place you got like 16 feet of water in there real close to the bank, those are ideal spots, and that's what we're fishing. Shallow banks close to deep water.
The Bill Dance Question and Answer of the Week, brought to you by Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum. Whether you're fishing for panfish, bass, catfish, or light saltwater, we have the action for you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
Does anyone make a rod holder for a rectangular rail that comes on some pontoon boats? Yep, they do. Millennium Marine. This rod holder is universal to fit most boat railings regardless if they're round, square, or flat, and has 180 to 360 degree rod adjustments, made with anodized aluminum, and comes with a 1-year warranty.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Millennium Marine, a new class of comfort, and by Garmin Force Trolling Motors, fish with force. Closed caption provided by Power Pole, the original shallow water anchor. Today's product tip is brought to you by Garmin and their GPS map series, Chart Plotter Sonar Combos, with their advanced sonar technology, like Panoptix Live Scope all-seeing sonar. You'll spend less time finding your fish.
Conservation is a key factor in our sport's longevity, and my good friends at Ego have the perfect accessory to keep fishing alive. It's Ego's Cryptek Conservation Tournament weigh-in bag. The bag is designed to provide a safe and friendly way for both tournament and recreational anglers to transport their fish to the weigh-ins. You can also add a separate aerator into the built-in side pocket. It's the first and last weigh-in bag you'll ever need.
Come be part of Bill Dance Digital. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us.
Whoa, where are we going? Oh man. Whoop, 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 whoop. He's up on the boat. Come on down here, biggin. Easy now. Come up here. Whoa! You got it. You got it. Nice. Yes, you are. Toodaloo. You know, I can't emphasize enough. The best fisherman around can fish the best bait in the world, and if he's fishing the wrong depth, he's not going to catch many fish. But at the right depth, almost anyone can catch fish, provided he's fishing the right location with the proper lure for that location and using the correct presentation. The depth chosen by fish at any given time is dictated by many things, like food supply, oxygen content, water temperature, time of day, and even the time of year. Once you discover the ideal depth, you must then learn the very best location in the area of the lake you're fishing at that depth. It's important to remember that whatever depth and location you fish, don't forget it's best to have deeper water close by. Note, I didn't say deep water, I said deeper water. All we're really talking about here is what the majority of fish are doing at the same time in a preferred depth and location. Where in the fire are you going, Get a good one. Come on back here. Come on up here. Oh, what a big one. Come up here, get my hands in your face. Oh. Whew, what a pretty one. Oh, gotcha. That's a nice looking fish there. Okay, speaking of depth and location, once you find it, naturally you have to select a lure that can be fished effectively there. Regardless of what lure you choose, a worm, crankbait, grub, spinnerbait, or whatever, it must be fished in a way that's most appealing, especially when bass are inactive. You know, when I think back where I've caught a lot of my biggest bass, both largemouth and smallmouth, and where I've caught a great number of fish, is where a depth change occurs. Sometimes shallow, sometimes deep. So, if you're having trouble catching your fair share of bass, you might just want to get next to deeper water. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time, somewhere between the shoreline and open water. We'll see you.
Thanks for watching Bill Dance Outdoors. Join us here again next week.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.